Good afternoon and welcome back to day 4 of Rapid. I'm here with Wang of Senvol, and we're going to talk a little bit about just what's going on in your organization, maybe what you've seen here. So let's start with that. Anything kind of new and exciting that you see as trends in the industry or that are kind of interesting to you in the type of organization you are?
Yeah, so actually the trend that we are really excited about is how machine learning and AI is finally entering additive manufacturing. Finally, I think it's about time. I mean, additive manufacturing is a digital process, and out of a digital process, you require a lot of data and you generate a lot of data through the entire process. And I think it's time that we use some tried and tested machine learning and AI techniques to analyze all of that data.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're kind of leading the charge by our new product called Senvol ML, which is a machine learning tool to help you analyze all the AM data that's being generated.
So your solution that you guys have developed, is that something that is that something that I would work with you to deploy, or is it something I purchase, or what does that look like if I wanted to actually try to use that on my shop floor?
So right now we are in an alpha stage, and in the alpha stage, our alpha participants give us their data, we analyze it, and then we give them back the results, and then we can do iterations of that. We can also use our tool and some of our features to help them design or automate the designing of their DOE, their design of experiments. We can do adaptive DOE, which is very cool. And then we're going to have beta. So in the beta, which will be launched around November, people will actually be able to download that software and use it themselves. And we've actually been developing the software with a lot of DoD funding, a lot from the Navy, Defense Logistics Agency, as well as NIST, and as well as our own funding. And for that, we're actually developing the software as per Navy specifications. So it's going to be, not on the cloud, not connected to the internet, very secure.
Needed, but yeah.
Yeah, and so you'll be able to upload your own data onto your downloaded instance of the software, analyze it, and then only you would have access to the data and the analysis.
You see that
around November,
beta?
yeah.
Oh, cool. Right.
The beta.
Anything new? I mean, we all know and love the Senvol, services that you provide and some of the free resources that I think everyone uses. Just
the Senvol database, of course.
It's been around for years, really.
Yeah.
And anything new that you see? I know another area that you guys are heavily engaged is related to materials data and generating materials data set. It's still one of the, I heard it yesterday in one of the technical talks, and actually it was brought up again this morning in the keynote. Materials is still one of the biggest problems.
Absolutely.
Limiting implementation of additive. Any thoughts on where we're at today and where you see that going?
So we manage and update the Senvol database every month, and we're constantly surprised and amazed by how many new machines and new materials are coming onto the market all the time. When it's approximately, it's like 50% growth year on year in terms of the number of new machines and new materials that are coming on. So it's really exciting to see more and more options for consumers, but we're also starting to see many new processes that are coming on. So for example, when it comes to metal, we have desktop metal that's coming on, which is a new process. There's also other metal extrusions, so kind of like metal but FDM coming on, the whole Mark X, Mark Forged, new processes coming on. So those are really exciting to see that, we're not constrained to the 7 ASTM processes maybe, or maybe those should be revised. Yeah. But we're seeing a lot of new options.
In the works. Yeah. So, anything that you've seen that kind of has excited you on the showroom floor? I know I'm sure you're keeping quite busy working in your booth, kind of explaining to everyone what you're doing if they're not familiar. Anything you've seen, or maybe in a session that's been interesting?
I think the other thing that I'm really excited about is how people are also finally waking up to the importance of in situ monitoring. So I remember back in the day when there were very few sensors being installed inside the machines, and people didn't really know what were the sensors capturing, what kind of sensors to install. And now we're seeing machine manufacturers installing more and more sensors or trying different sensors. There's still a big issue in terms of analyzing that data and making that data useful and correlating it to something that they can understand, like a density value or a tensile strength or a fatigue life or what have you. But at minimum, we're seeing manufacturers installing more of these sensors, trying different types of sensors, and kind of just placing more emphasis on in-situ monitoring, which I think is really exciting because I think we're going to really need in-situ monitoring to do quality assurance, to do in-process qualification or certification.
And I think kind of how we started and are ending this discussion around machine learning and ability to collect information. Obviously, those two need to pair up very neatly together in order for us to...
And we're using machine learning to analyze that in-situ monitoring data.
That's fascinating. Well, I appreciate your time. I hope you have a great show and good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks.